No, not yet. Just taking it day to day right now.
Will he practice full today?
We'll see. I doubt it'd be full if he's out there, but we'll see. It's, soreness is an issue right now, and so giving him some time is best. And so that's all I'll say about today.
How much of it is for the game, the medical staff's call versus Burrow's call, considering it's, a little bit of a soft tissue injury?
Involves everybody.
How difficult is it, Zach, for you and Brian on a week like this when there is a degree of uncertainty coming up with game plan, practice reps, who takes which reps of practice?
That's part of the business. You're always preparing all your guys. You're always preparing your backup quarterback no matter what. And so, again, this week we're forward an extra day, which is a positive, and we'll see how the practices go.
Brian deferred to you in terms of how that rotation might look
Yeah.
this week. Would you like to share who's going to do what?
Take it day to day, and we'll assess it each day.
Would you like to see Joe practice at all between now and Monday if he were to play?
That would be ideal.
What's the biggest concern as he deals with soreness? How much workload you try to give him throughout the week to get ready for a game?
Concern? I think we just got to keep the conversation going every day and see where he's at.
Burrow's talked about in previous seasons, times he missed in practice and getting his feel back and the way he sees the field back. Just kind of cap independent, how would you evaluate just the way he's kind of been seeing the field and moving around in the game?
Really good. That last game, aside from the interception, find me one bad ball placement. You're not going to. So I thought he performed really well. They can't have the turnover, obviously. But aside from that, I thought that he gave us exactly what we needed.
I know you said he's improving, or has improved a bit over the past couple of days. Is that less soreness? Is that how?
I don't want to speak for him in that regard, So again, we'll just keep those conversations between us.
If Jake is put into extended rep throughout the week, what are you hoping to see from him in order to get ready, if he needs to be on Monday?
Yeah, take great care of the football and manage the team.
Brian said he has a couple of times gone back and watched Super Bowl 56.
Oh, yeah.
And I assume you have as well, getting ready for this game. A year and a half later, what kind of lessons can you take and apply to a Monday night game?
From the Super Bowl? I don't pair those two together. You're just looking at a game. You're looking at tape. You're looking at scheme. You're looking at personnel. So I don't say Super Bowl compared to Monday night. I say it's a week 3 game, and both teams hungry for a win. And so I don't really compare the two games necessarily.
Some different personnel defensively.
Yeah.
Schematic similar, or are there a lot of major tweaks?
No, I wouldn't say major tweaks. 99 still plays,
Yeah.
and you see him on the tape. They do a great job with the personnel that they've got. They put them in really good positions. They do a good job complementing their schemes. So again, I think they're really well coached. I got a lot of respect for the guys they got playing over there on defense. They do their job and they all do it well. And so again, it's a really difficult challenge.
The Rams have
really
been-
good start offensively. We're off to a really good start offensively. What stands out in those first 2 games?
They've done a good job getting the ball in space. I would say that. Some of the way that they've schemed up some of their complementary looks, I think they've done a nice job putting teams in a tough spot. Thought their lines performed well. I think the receivers have been really efficient, with Cooper being out. They've gotten really good production out of those guys. Stafford's playing as well as he plays. He's doing a great job. Really accurate, getting the ball in space. And again, they're getting good efficiency out of the running back position as well. So I think the unit from top to bottom is playing really good.
They've been really good on third down both ways, both offensively and defensively. Is it, first on the offensive side, is it manageable situations, or is it Stafford making some big throws on third down?
I've seen big throws on third down. I haven't drilled down on that part of it offensively for them, but I've certainly seen some big throws he's made. I just got to look back at what down and distance they were always in.
And defensively, what have they done so long on third down to get off the field?
Well, they do a good job. Early in drives, they've won some early drives and put some people in some tough spot. And so I think that's the key. Just as you look overall at the drives that they've had, they do a great job. And then once they get you in a less than manageable situation, they do a good job coming after the quarterback.
Do you need Burrow in practice this week?
we'll see.
Is given how he didn't get the camp reps, I mean, how much does that play in a factor into how much work he may or may not need going into Monday?
That doesn't factor into it.
What would you say you've been most pleased with and what you've been able to build on offensively in the first 2 weeks?
It's hard to say that for 2 weeks. You know, we're just fresh into the season, and they've been two totally separate games that we've played. So again, I thought we started to gain momentum at the end of the half, kicked a field goal, first drive of the second half, drove down the field, turnover, scored touchdown, had one punt mixed in there. And so really felt like those last 5 drives, outstanding rhythm. Just had the one cover 0 that we didn't pull through, and they got us on that third down. We had to punt. So felt like those last 5 drives, we really started to find our rhythm and get the ball moving, and wish we would started faster on those first 2 drives of the game. Would have put us in a better spot, put our defense in a better spot.
Run game's been good, and Joe specifically, averaging, I guess, 4.4 yards a carry. What have you seen from Joe in the run game?
Hit it where it needs to hit. He's done it. He's done it with a ton of energy. He's been really physical, punishing people upon contact, and really feeding off the offensive line as well. They've done a great job setting the tone, and Joe has matched that. And so I've been really pleased with the chemistry between those 2 units.
Knowing how valuable Joe Burrow is, obviously, are you willing to take it up to game time if you have to give him as much time as needed?
You know, I think we'll just take it day to day and see where we get to.
Has there been enough time for Will Greer to start to enter a backup quarterback competition with Jake Brown?
I think right now he's still in the process of learning it. He's done a great job trying to accelerate it. I mean, I just saw him pitch, going over it again, you know, so he's doing a great job doing everything he can to prepare himself. It is the challenging part when you get a guy at the start of the season is you're past the install phase of things and you're into the game plan thing. So it's not the nuts and bolts of the offense. Now it's game planning for Cleveland and Baltimore and LA. And him mix and matching what he would be asked to go in and do if we ever got to that point during the season, and what we'd ask our other quarterbacks to do because of their time on task is a little bit different. But I enjoy being around him. He's what we thought he was when we got him, and we'll continue to evaluate him as we go.
This might be an obvious question, but how much for you does the execution of a game plan change if you're dealing with Jake as opposed to Joe in game and the lead up to it?
You need to have great conversation with all quarterbacks. Anytime a quarterback's playing, you got to make sure you connect with them and they understand the intent of the plan and why we're doing things and what they feel comfortable with. So every backup quarterback you've ever had, whether it's the full game plan or a scaled down plan, you want to make sure they're comfortable. So those conversations always take place. We always ask Jake his opinions the night before games on these situations. What plays would you want? We're always connected that way, and it's on the call sheet. And so this week is no different.
You guys have faced adversity a few times over the last few years, but never dropped 3 in a row. What's enabled y'all to kind of bounce back after a couple losses to make sure that doesn't linger?
Just the character of the team, you know, and there's a lot of winners in our locker room. There's a lot of winners on our coaching staff. And so when you face perceived adversity, I would argue that this isn't really adversity. That comes, you know, later in the year typically. But, you know, there's no fear in our guys. That's what I love is when you're in a team meeting and you walk around the locker room and you see guys and you wouldn't know the record, you wouldn't feel the record. The guys still have the confidence and the fight that you always expect from these guys. And it's usually the people that don't have control of the situation where you get a little bit more of the, oh man, this is a real adversity situation. We don't feel that at all. We know that this season's a marathon. We stumbled out the blocks. But again, we'll pick up the pace and feel like we'll be in good shape as the season goes.
Would Burrow missing games be adversity?
That's 11. I had this at 10.5. That was 11 right there. Okay. Might be 12, but go ahead.
I mean, would that be adversity even this early, or would that be perceived adversity?
That's a challenge. When you don't have your starting quarterback, that's a challenge. But again, we've invested time and effort into Jake, and Jake's matched that. And so, again, the guys on our 53-man roster are on this team for a reason. We believe in them. We know we're going to call upon everybody at some point, and the quarterback position is no different.
Your other injured Joe Osai, prospects for him this week.
Feel good about it, you know. So we'll see if it's a full practice today. You know, it'll be the first time doing that, but we'll get him out there and see what he can do.
What do you make of 14 of the 16 AFC teams already having a loss 2 weeks into the season?
I didn't know that, so we got to process that for a minute. But it's a really strong conference. You look at the league in general. There's nobody that's on the schedule where you think these guys. It's none of that. The AFC specifically, I think I don't pay as much attention to the NFC unless we're playing a team. AFC wise, there's a lot of talent from top to bottom. Every team's got their strengths. Every team matches up with another team maybe a little bit differently, and so it's a really good conference, and it's what makes this league fun.
Is there any update on Nick Scott?
Everything has been positive so far. So again, there's a process he's got to follow over the course of the week, but everything so far has been positive and on time. Again, we'll have to take it. You'll know more in the 48 hours, I think, as he starts to get through the protocol.
What have you thought about his start with the team so far?
Yeah, I think a lot of the new guys started to fit in really well. The chemistry with the team's good. They understand the role. Nick's done a great job just as a veteran presence over there, and so fortunate to have him. I didn't make it. I just was asking a question. How many do we think it'll be? And it was 10.5.
Coming off, I guess the Super Bowl loss, as you prepared for the offseason, was priority one, improving the interior offensive line. You ended up signing two within like the first 10 minutes of free agency.
What was the question?
It was priority one in that offseason, improving the interior of the offensive line. You end up getting Kappa.
That was a priority. A priority was improving the offensive line. And felt like we did that. It's impossible to predict how it's going to look. You don't want to just say we're signing interior linemen just to sign interior linemen, and now you're signing guys that you maybe don't believe in. We felt like those were really good fits for what we could add, and we're fortunate that it worked out where they wanted to come play for us.